Hi, I'm Amy. Today I kind of want to tell you about my journey with MTHFR because I think then it'll make a little bit more sense why I'm so into this and so passionate about it. Because, you know, it, with this type of medicine, it really has to be a passion. You have to care about it. Um, and I think usually people care because of personal experience. So my MTHFR journey, like most people, starts a generation earlier. It's a genetic disease, so that's normal. But my mom had severe hormone troubles her whole life. Just she had a really difficult time with it, and eventually doctors told her that she would never be able to carry a baby. It would just never happen for her. She never gave up hope. She kept trying, but um, she had miscarriage after miscarriage, and was in the hospital almost every month for a transfusion, and it was a really difficult time in her life and a very difficult thing to go through. Eventually, later in life, she got pregnant with me and carried all the way to 7 months, which nobody thought she would do, and then delivered me very early. And this was the 70s, so a 2 pound 9 ounce baby at that in that time was a big deal. Today, no problem. I mean, way smaller babies have survived. But at that time, I was actually the smallest baby to survive in that hospital to date. And mom was thrilled, and everything was great. But because of that, we always kind of blamed my health quirkiness on that. Maybe I was a little bit uncooked, right? I was premature, I just didn't get finished. It's fine. So I'm going to have some weird health stuff. And all through my childhood, that looked like joint pain, muscle pain, like a lot of just structural trouble. And then at 17, I developed psoriasis, which was way out of left field. Like nobody in my family had it. There was no reason. Nobody could figure anything out. Whatever, that happened. Always very strange hormones, very I would say emotionally sensitive. Like I was just a very emotionally sensitive kid, right? I couldn't, so I played piano when I was young. Couldn't handle competition because if I lost, I felt miserable because I lost and I could have done better and I should have worked harder, the whole shebang. And and if I won, then I felt miserable because that meant someone else lost and they would be sad and I would feel their sadness for them, and that's a little not normal. So as it progressed, I went to med school, started my practice, still piecemealing things together. Got my hormones under control, great, but it didn't really fix other problems. I mean, there were still pictures missing out of that puzzle. And the answer came, as it so often does, in the form of a patient. In about 2006, somebody came to me, and we'd been working together for a while. She also had fertility issues, and a fertility specialist diagnosed her with an MTHFR mutation and gave her the option of taking a massive dose of folic acid, which we know now is not the right path, but at the time, that was what they did. And so the patient came to me and said, "Look, will you look into this? Because I don't understand what's going on, and I'm not sure that my doctor has a really great handle on it." And, at that point, I hadn't even heard of it. Of course, I knew about epigenetics, we had studied that in school, but MTHFR really wasn't on anybody's radar yet. And so I started looking into it, and there weren't the resources that we have today, right? Ben Lynch was just starting his research journey. The internet was sort of a wasteland. So the only place you could go was to PubMed and just crawl through medical journals. And that's what I did. And while I was doing that, of course, I started to be like, well, this explains something, right? This is me. I'm looking at myself. And from there, I read everything I could about it, right? It's been a long, long journey. And I finally realized also that the patients that I've been attracting my whole life are other MTHFR patients. I thought I was going to specialize in autoimmune disease. No, that's not what came to me. Those aren't the people that came to me. The people that came to me were people with MTHFR issues, anxiety, insomnia, depression, complex hormone disorder, mostly related to MTHFR. So there's a reason, right? The people that are supposed to see me came to see me. And and as this was going on, I started developing more protocols, started developing better solutions for people. There's still an element of trial and error because everybody genetically is very different, right? Even if we're looking at the same MTHFR SNPs, we're looking at thousands of other SNPs that interact. And so there's still a little bit of personalization in finding your own path forward, but we've got a really good framework to do that. And so I want to help other people who have gone to their doctors and had their doctors say, nothing's wrong with you. You're great, right? Well, why don't I feel great? That's not a nice place to be. Doctors supposed to have the answers, but they only have the answers if they can find something wrong. And so I think there's lots of you out there. And I'm hoping that you'll join me and we can heal together. We can go on this journey together and actually find ways to feel incredible, right? My health now is so different than it was before I found out about this. A bad day for me used to be an 8 out of 10 on the pain scale, right? Where I couldn't close my hands all the way. And if I sat still for more than 2 seconds, I'd have to shift or pop a joint or move around because it was just too painful. Now, a bad day is a 2 out of 10, right? And I usually know what triggered it. It's usually gluten, actually. Um, and so that's a completely different life, right? That is a completely different life. I'm not limited anymore. And I want that for you. I want you to experience that and to feel how good it feels when you're not struggling all the time with whatever it is, right? Whatever your MTHFR issue might be. And it could be mood and psychological. It could be hormonal. It could be pain and inflammation. It could be cardiac. Whatever it is, I think we can work on it. I think we can make it better. So I hope you'll join me, and I hope you'll spend some time with me, and I hope we can heal together.